We announced yesterday our agreement signed with Altan Oil. It is an agreement which accumulated means 1 terawatt-hours bio-LNG delivery from our facilities here in Scandinavia to Altan Oil, which will then sell it further to its heavy transportation sectors. Next, please. Some background information. We have already earlier communicated our strategy. The main focus of Scandinavian Biogas has been already for several years to expand within the bio-LNG or LBG, which is the same product segment. And we have clearly seen that the key interest, the key customer segments growing with this product, having need for this product. Excellent product is especially the buses and trucks segment. Besides of that, we also see that maritime, especially cruising ships, have needs to convert into LNG and want to even use bio-LNG in the maritime sector, as well as we know that the industrial customers do especially have the need to convert into the green energy. Our message has been systematically that we see the land traffic, trucks and buses to be the leading segment in the future from our perspective, as we have assumed that this segment is able to accept the highest price point and longer term. And this discussion or this cooperation is very well aligned with our strategic intent, which we have seen already a couple of years back. Key drivers. What are the key drivers which make this happen in the market overall? Definitely the European green transition, the European legislation and subsidies in different markets do make it possible and attractive for the industry to go and to do and assure additional investments. A special feature which is worth noting is this quota legislation in selected countries and expanding in Europe, meaning that the fossil energy distributors, especially for transportation sector, have a obligation to mix in the energy package renewable energy, green energy, and if they are not doing it, they have the opportunity, or are not able to do it, they have the opportunity to buy quotas, and that is something which is as a attractive driver in several markets, and in this discussion, especially in Germany. So overall, these factors drive the demand for bio-LNG, and especially in heavy transportation sector, which also has been able to assure the availability with competitive vehicle engine solutions and vehicles as such. As we know, the gas engines are fully comparable and competitive on Euro 6 level compared to diesel engines, which they were not earlier on. So all these factors are driving to the same direction and enhancing the utilization of gas in the heavy transportation sector. As we know, the latest development this year, the Ukrainian war has created a situation where the Russian gas is not seen as a long-term solution in the European market. It is also a factor which is pushing forward and offering additional growth opportunities for bio-LNG and biomethane in general, and thus will also drive the prices in general and quite often upwards. So this is the summary of our strategy and the key drivers. Why? And if we take then the next one, please. This one is showing the market assessment published by NGVA a couple of years back. And the key point here is that the number of heavy trucks is assumed to grow to close 300,000 within this decade, meaning that roughly 25% of the heavy trucks are using natural gas or bio LNG as the energy carrier, and as we later show, there has been a very fast development, especially in the German market, aligned with this estimate. Next one. This is showing the development in the German market for the usage of LNG, and as we can see that, say early 20, the usage was on a level of 2,000 tons per month, and now we are on a level of 14,000 tons. So within the 2 years period, the growth has extended by, or the usage has extended by a multiplier 7, and this is of course driven now with the fact that the base of heavy trucks using gas has been extended in substantially. Mr. Müller will describe some of the details later on. And then on the next. So overall, we see that our strategy to reach 3 terawatt hours biomethane and especially bio LNG by 2030 in the Northern European market is definitely realistic. This is a milestone in a way towards this target. And overall, as communicated earlier, our pipeline with new growth opportunities are well aligned with this target, and this agreement as such is a good important step realizing the 2024 target, reaching and having a capacity of 700 gigawatt hours and having a total sales exceeding 750 million Swedish crowns. So this was the market overview. And Anna, if you take the next one. Yes, before we go forward. So that was the market overview, and now we go to Alten Oil, and we would like to start first with a short video, and thereafter Mr. Jürgen Müller will take over the word. So Anna, please.
Our planet is changing. The demand for clean energy is increasing every day. It's up to us to explore new paths, develop new solutions, and meet the challenges of our time. With Refuel, we're transforming heavy-duty transportation. Our renewable fuel is climate neutral as early as today. We produce Refuel from biological waste processes and green hydrogen generated by wind energy. As a result, we replace the need for fossil fuel use. We absorb harmful CO2 and methane before they enter the atmosphere and transform them into one of the cleanest fuels of the world. By doing so, we reduce emissions during the production and on the road. To decrease road traffic and avoid emissions for the transport of Refuel, we rely on intermodal transport, the smart combination of rail and road. Refuel is climate neutral, renewable, ready to use, and available at all Alten Oil stations nationwide. We are one of the largest providers of renewable fuel. With our nationwide filling station network and cutting-edge systems engineering, we ensure an easy transition to renewable fuels for our customers. With our Refuel, we are turning heavy goods transport climate neutral and paving the way to a brighter, sustainable future.
Okay, then we move forward, and please, Mr. Müller, take over the word and give us an introduction for the German market and Altenol as a company, please.
Yes, hello, good afternoon to everybody, and thank you, Matti Vikula, for introducing our both agreement to the public. Yeah, I'm Jürgen Müller. I'm the owner and chairman of the Avanza Group that belongs, or the Altenol belongs to the Avanza Group, and there we are since more than 20 years in sustainable energy logistics, well known in Germany here in transport, logistics, and in energy. And we see in the last years the demand for green transport possibilities are ramping up dramatically. The targets for climate change, for the energy transition from the European and even from the national governments are increasing very, very fast. And we have here the possibility taken some years ago, 4 years ago now, to establish a station network in whole Germany, build it up from our own group, from Flensburg to Freiburg and from Duisburg to Dresden, over up to 60 stations end of this year. And the market expectation to change the fossil fuel or to change in the last years, in last year in 2021 we had an increasing of 15% per month, and we see for the next years up to 2020-30 a big demand for bio LNG especially in the German market, where we are a big transit country, having a lot of traffic, having a lot of heavy duty trucks on long distance, where the alternatives are not yet there and even are not coming for the long haul and for the heavy duty trucks companies. So at the moment our volume in the market is up to 4,000 tons, up to more than 50,000 tons this year is expected, what we will sell out, distribute out in our network and through our logistic chain here in Germany. And we see this market demand with the opportunity to offer the bio LNG will even increase, because there are a lot of companies focusing on decreasing their emissions in scope 1, that means the emissions produced from them, and in scope 3, that means emissions out of the transport of goods to and from the factories, for example. So there we have a big need from the market scene, and there we are dramatically increasing in these times. And the political situation brings us with a quota system, an instrument to decrease the use of fossil diesel fuel and to get an advantage for advanced fuels like bio LNG. In addition, we have other advantages in particle emissions and in sound and even in consumption for the trucks. It's an economical way. So what we do is that we place the TCO, the total cost of ownership for the trucks. With these advanced fuels, we can keep it more optimal against the diesel truck. So for the heavy-duty truck segment, this is a very good possibility to make the transition to a more greener and to a more emission-free transport. There's one page more, I think, or is it done? Then maybe we can try again.
The network.
The network. Ah, yeah, you see here the network. So what we see here, we agreed with Scandinavian Biogas that we have here a network over total Germany. We are the fastest company here with Alton, and we have at the moment more than 40 stations, and this is increasing up to 60 stations until the end of the year. So the agreed volume, about 11,500 tons in 2024, will be covered from our stations very easily. And we do the transport, what we see even in the video, by intermodal transport. That means that even there, the emissions are not really there. So the current price situation of CO2 emission reduction benefits gives us the opportunity to give even Scandinavian Biogas a very good return on the invests. And so we will have some more capacities to be built up in the next future. That is what we agreed in our agreement anyway, to have a common development for the next years.
Very good. Okay, thank you very much. Presentation mode, thank you. Okay, I'll then continue on this, the contents of the agreement and implications. As mentioned, the order size totally a bit more than 1 terawatt-hours on a level of 160 gigawatt-hours or 11.5 thousand tons annually, 2025 and until end of 2030. There's a ramp up for 23, 24. Especially 24, we are already on a high level, around 8,000 tons. And what is important that the agreed volume is 1 terawatt-hours totally, but there is an optionality to even double it up to 280 gigawatt-hours if parties on both sides do that, won't and agree on the principle. That's an opportunity for the future. Given the market prices we have had recently and today, both for the energy prices and for the CO2 emission reduction benefits in the German market, the order value of this agreement is 2.7 billion Swedish crowns, and is of course also subject to market development then in the future. And if extended up to the 2 terawatt-hours, it's estimated to be around 4.7 given today's market prices. This cooperation implies that given our growth plan to reach the 700 gigawatt-hours capacity in 2024, when we are in full speed in 2025, this is approximately on a level of 25% of our production plant capacity, slightly less, but on that level. So it gives the perspective that this is a very important cooperation even for us in Scandinavian Biogas. Next one. And some key points in terms of financial impact. As I mentioned, the current bio-LNG prices are significantly higher than last year and are subject to market development. When we go towards bio-LNG, we will have an extra cost, which we haven't had earlier on, which is related to the power consumption. And the agreed volumes, which we now have, are around 25% of the plant capacity, as mentioned. That would help to guide on the impact on profit and loss. And then we have made here an example, as we see it, for our business area in Sweden. If one takes the P&L and the actual delivered volumes for 2021, converts that into a rough estimate on unit price, sales price, including production subsidies. And if one would assume that, okay, say 40 gigawatt-hours would be delivered from the Swedish facilities, and would make an estimate on how this would impact the overall income as a pro forma 2021, assuming that we would have had this capacity available at that point of time. And when it comes to the conclusion that the overall increase in turnover would be on a level of 50 million roughly assuming that the 40 gigawatt-hours energy would be supplied as bio-LNG. And on the other hand, there will be a corresponding cost increase related to the power, which is on a level of, say, roughly 15 to 17% of energy delivered. And even taking that into account, we see a substantial improvement in our EBITDA as pro forma 2021 with these volumes, which are as an example here. So overall, we see that this agreement is very well aligned with our financial targets as a group to reach the 2024 total sales 750 million on one hand, as well as then the operative EBITDA 30%. And I think this was the summary. Last slide. Yes, we are in the Q&A session now. We are open for questions, myself and Mr. Müller. So please go ahead.
Yeah, hello, it's Adrian here from ABG. I'd like to ask a few questions. First of all, to you guys at Scandinavian Biogas. Can you say anything specific about which plants these volumes will be sold from? Obviously, you said it'll be a combination of Norway and Sweden, but can you be a bit more specific on that?
We have decided to only reflect to the respective facilities, the countries, business areas where it's applied. So as you already mentioned, it's the gas is bio-LNG is supplied from Norway and from Sweden. But of course, as it is bio-LNG, the number of facilities is still fairly limited, but the breakdown and how we do it is not published.
Okay, just in that case, if there are any delays for these COM3 or Mönsterås plants that are to be commissioned in 2024, would you still be able to deliver these volumes with the existing plants and the Södertörn expansion in 2023?
In order to reach the overall volumes, we definitely need additional capacity because out of the agreed volumes, roughly 70% plus is estimated to be delivered from the forthcoming capacities.
Okay, and also on a similar front, a question to Alternoil. Do you guys already have the infrastructure in place to take on these volumes, or are there also investments from your side that need to be made before you can receive these volumes?
For these volumes, we have already the volume with fossil fuel, so we only replace the molecules from fossil fuel to the more greener and more optimal bio-LNG molecules. And our investments are still on road. So as we said, we are investing into more other plants where we already negotiated for if some of them are on our own land, some of them are, for example, at the big truck ports in Germany. There's one in Geiselwind, for example, we are just under construction. That's the biggest truck port here in Germany, or in Bremerhaven, in the port of Bremerhaven, where all the container truck companies are going. There we are under construction. We go to have more than 2 stations nearly open per month, and this is what we do already since a certain time of period. So you can see that we have already the infrastructure organized, and from the logistics side, we are serving more than 50% of all market players here in Germany with LNG. So there we are well prepared by using the intermodal tank container capacities.
Okay, and also for Scandinavian Biogas, obviously the sales implications of the contract are fairly simple to understand with the information in the press release. But are there any added costs for you for the transportation and logistics, seeing as these will be sold outside of Sweden, or are these costs going to be taken by Alternoil?
We are selling the bio-LNG ex-works, and it's Alternoil, which its own group capability logistics system, which are taking care of the logistics and taking care of the cost as such.
Okay, so just to clarify, there are no added costs for you compared to if you would sell in Sweden?
No added cost if we would sell the volumes in Sweden. The only cost which is added on if you compare our P&L earlier on is, of course, the additional power which we have not had. Then that cost we have not had when we have sold the gas as compressed biogas, as well as then, of course, the depreciation for the facility and some operational cost, but the power is the key cost.
Okay. And also just a final question from my side regarding the pricing. We understand it's made up of both fixed and variable component, this price agreement. Can you just elaborate a bit how much is fixed and variable, and what is the sort of floor on this agreement?
The agreement is based or has, as mentioned, has a variable component, and that is linked to the market prices, both of the energy and the CO2 certificates in the German market. These are the key variables which we have agreed on, and it's impacting both parties. And for us, there is a floor price, but that is something which is not published.
Okay. Those were all my questions, so thanks for answering.
Okay, next question, please. Any hands? Anna, any questions?
No, any hand that I can see here. No
Okay.
hands raised.
Any other questions? If not, then I think it's time to thank you all participating this information meeting, and especially Mr. Müller and the team for a very good work done, negotiations with us. We are pleased to be able to start this cooperation with you. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy.
Thank you from my side.
Thank you. Bye-bye.